the fellowship that we had. And again, as Josefina said earlier, just want to thank every one of you that made it possible, not simply by bringing, although that's pretty much at the top of my list, but by being, just by being here. You know, it occurs to me that the fundamental for the church, believe it or not, is not really to preach the gospel. Not for this activity. We're here to glorify Jesus. We're here to lift up what he did, and that is the gospel. But the reality is why God calls us together. Why specifically Yuli, Denitsa, these guys? Why today? Why now? Is it just, oh, that's what we just decided to do? We decided to come to church? Maybe. Or maybe it's that God knows that you need to. At this point in your life, you need to make friends with a guy named Mark. Or you need to listen to a young woman named Yuli. You need to rub shoulders with a man named Rodolfo. And you need to be told to be quiet by a man named Joe Crowley. I don't know. But the beauty of, and let me just brag a little bit on y'all. The beauty of you all is that you represent not necessarily each other's first choices for friendship. Is that right? I'm just saying. I don't know that I would have necessarily run into Pastor Joe in my day in, day out life. Specifically, back when I owned a business, when I was just in the world, if he happened to be looking for a part for his car, maybe. But because we're a part of this extended family called Mosaic, that takes anybody and everybody. And I don't know if you noticed, some of y'all are weird. I'm just saying. We've had a stream of people. Sometimes they stick, sometimes they don't. Let me share something that we've had a person in the past who came through who I suspect was struggling with some mental illness. I described the situation to another person who was a medical professional, and that person actually sort of named that particular mental illness and expressed some familiarity with it. And I guess he thought I was complaining, because when I saw this medical professional again a few weeks later, actually several months later, he asked me, how is that person doing? How are they doing? Are they still there? And I said, well, no, in fact, the person kind of moved on. And he said, oh, I guess you're pretty glad about that. And I said, no, actually, I'm not. Oh, well, it sounded like that person was causing disruption and was causing some fear and was causing, some of your guests weren't feeling comfortable. And I said, yeah, but if God brings somebody into our family, that's our family. I've told the story many times about discovering Marshall when he was a little boy being colorblind. And it wasn't like I wanted to take him back to the store and say, this one's defective. I really understood Paul's words when he said, hey, you would have given me your eyes. That's what's involved with your family. For the areas where they do well, you're like, I taught them that. But the areas where they're deficient, God's brought together a unique group of people. Some of us more unique than others. But we're here for a reason. We started talking a little bit last week about what that reason is. We're going to go a little further today, and I'm going to hopefully give you a tool. Before we go much further, I normally prep Justin on announcements, and I didn't do it today, so I'm going to give him a break and just run through quickly some announcements, and then we'll jump into the teaching and let our kids go. So I want to let you know that first of all, I want you to say, I'm invited. Okay, I want everybody to say, I'm invited. Well, what are you invited to? Well, actually, glad you asked. Everyone here is invited to our Thursday night Bible study. There is a very, very slim chance the CBS reporter may show up. I tend to doubt it since she didn't actually ask for directions, but she did ask about getting to know our church during the week. We are going to be back at Ritchie Park Elementary School. If you come to my house, you're happy to camp out in the yard, but the rest of us will be over at Ritchie Park, the school that Jennifer works at. So I wanted to be clear. We had a great time. C did a great job. He is leading the study, and he did a great job last week, and I anticipate he will do a great job this week. So if you're available, I'd encourage you to make your way to Ritchie Park Elementary School Thursday at 6:30. There will be something to chew on briefly, and then we'll get right to the spiritual food that will be there. If you need directions, you can come see me, you can come see Jennifer, and we'll get you there. Next announcement, Rockville Women's Center. Regardless of where you are in the abortion debate, I am unapologetically pro-life, but I understand the critique that says, well, why do you care only about what women do with their bodies and not do anything for their actual lives and the babies that are a result? And the answer is the Rockville Women's Center. The Rockville Women's Center not only counsels those who are seeking abortion, but gives counsel for how to be a mom and how to get along, and gives diapers and some other things, and we support them. And I'd encourage you to be a part of supporting them, perhaps independent of what our church does, by going to their fall gala. Gala is Latin for party, I think, right? So if you were like, I don't go to galas, but I go to parties, okay, it's a party. There will be food there, and at the end, they will ask for an offering. That's how they raise, I believe, the majority of their funds through the year. So I would encourage you, if you're available, next Tuesday, the 30th, and even if you're not, you might move your schedule around to be able to attend the gala at Rockville Women's Center. Again, if you need more information, if you're not sure you want to support this organization, Carla is not here today, but you might see Carla, you might see Claudia, you might see Lorena, not Claudia.
No, is it going to be in Durwood Bible Church?
It's at Durwood.
Yeah, the event is always, every year is at Durwood. You can go to the Rockville Women's Center website, and they'll get you there. Or like I said, see Lorena, see Carla or Annie, and they'll get you there. Any questions? I've been to several. You know, it's an excuse to kind of dress up, and you see some church folks you haven't seen, and it's a good time. Also a good time. October 5th, if you've never seen Matt Crowley preach, here's your opportunity. Matt will be... Yeah, I'll just leave it there. I will say this. The meeting, part of the DNA of our church is, you know, NFL. What does that stand for? Not for long, right? It's the idea that, you know, we're not a group of people, tomorrow's not promised, we're not here to be just the same old for decades. Every year, the leaders in our church, the budget, everything that we do is sort of inspected by the members of our church. And what that means is, if you're a member, you need to be there on the 5th, because I will be standing, the pastoral leadership team will be standing to either be reaffirmed or rejected. So I want you to just think about the possibilities. Come the next Sunday, you could have a new pastor if you wanted to. So I'd encourage you to start praying about what the next year is going to look like, how God is going to lead us. But specifically, if you have been attending for a season, and you've never actually stepped into membership. You've never, to put it bluntly, signed on the dotted line, signed the membership covenant. We're actually going to take our service next week, and we're going to use it to explain what Mosaic stands for. It will be, in essence, a membership class. And it will be an opportunity for you to examine some doctrines and some things that we're about, and to say, hey, I'm in. At the conclusion, should you choose, if you were not a member, I mean, look, you guys have seen, we let anybody serve here, right? And if you want to just keep coming and you don't want to, that's fine. When you get married, it's not only an emotional event, it's a legal event. The idea of a covenant is we're saying, you can count on me. There'll be an opportunity, and if you see somebody who has been attending that's not here today, you might tell them about it, that they might come next week with an eye towards at least getting more information about how we're organized, why we're organized that way, and the opportunity to step into a covenant relationship as the legal entity, which is Mosaic Community Fellowship. That does it for today. Oh, my wife... Did anybody from last week lose a Tupperware container and/or, is that yours?
Yay, we found the home.
Well, it has to actually belong to you, so, all right. It's Vicky's.
It's Vicky's.
Really?
The spoon is mine.
This is a good spoon. I had to actually apologize at Marshall's wedding for the non-culinary usage of wooden spoons in his life. Okay, at this point, we want to go ahead and let the children be dismissed, the children's workers be dismissed. Just give them a hand. Come on, guys. Hey, and while they're coming up, all y'all that are holding up the back wall, come on up front, get a seat. Yeah, let's go. Come on, y'all. Don't just look at me and go, uh-huh. I'll just stay right here. I'll just hide behind this wall. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.